Think about a bicycle. It takes balance to get where you want to go. Now think about business. Whatever your business or organization, you ride the line between numbers and people. Just like the bike, it takes balance. CLA, CPAs, consultants, and wealth advisors. That's CLA. We'll get you there. Clifton Larson Allen LLP investment advisory services are offered through Clifton Larson Allen Wealth Advisors LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor.
First impressions are everything. And if you're looking to make an impact with your online content, you need Issue, the easiest way to make your creative ideas come to life. Create flipbooks, ebooks, menus, magazines, and so much more. Dust off your PDFs and start fresh with Issue. Visit issue.com/radio. That's ISSUU.com/radio. And use code RADIO today and get 50% off an annual plan.
You are listening to an entertainment program put together by a company called Financial Ineptitude. Anything said on this show is not an endorsement or professional advice. Would you really want to tell a court of law you were suing us because you thought taking financial advice from two idiots on a podcast put out by Financial Ineptitude was a good idea? Really? Clown hat, smiley face.
Well, hello and welcome, everyone. Welcome to the China shop. Get on inside. Get out of that heat wave. Whew, Kyle, it's hot. I'm Shopkeeper Dan. With me, as always, is this guy I just mentioned, Kyle, creator of financialineptitude.com. Kyle, it's fucking hot.
Is it?
Yeah.
I haven't even been outside today. We did our exercises inside this morning because it was hot.
Because it's hot. Oh, all right. Yeah, get out of that heat. Come on into the shop with us today, folks. Sit back, relax, hedge against that rage machine. We'd love to welcome any new listeners just joining us. We're here smashing our way through a complete set of fine china, sharing those ever-growing strategies for maximized gains, cutting losses. If you are new to the shop and stock trading in general, you can always check out our knowledge and resource centers on financialineptitude.com, or you can give one of our many beginning trading episodes a listen, including the new one that just dropped with designated quizzers. I thought that was a really good one.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have all those links in the episode description. But best place to be is come check out our free Discord server. We're on there every day with a bunch of amazing people. It just keeps growing and getting better and better. It's just a really awesome place to be. Totally free, no paid tiers or special access areas. So come join us. Ask your questions.
We love answering questions.
Yeah, right. Oh yeah. And then when you do join, slide into Kyle's DMs with your mailing address so we can send you some smash it yourself swag straight from the shop.
Speaking of shop,
we
have a shop.
What? We have a shop? A shop in the shop? In Shoption?
I sent you a bunch of merch so you can model it.
I did take some pictures wearing nothing but the beer koozie, but I was told that they were obscene.
Oh, God.
Yes, we've got a shop. Now, you can get your free swag, and if that's not enough, you can hop on there and order some more. Really great stuff. I like the big tick energy stickers. I got one of those on my car.
Yeah. I think that'll probably be on a koozie soon, too.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right, Kyle, why don't you give us an update on the show news? What's our schedule looking like?
First of all, we need to mention that we are recording part 2 with Order Flow Labs this coming week. So look for that to be released on the 30th.
Back to the Futures 2, Revenge of Biff.
Wait a second. Was that this week or next week?
Is it on my calendar?
Oh, it was the 21st. Oh, shit.
Yeah, next week.
Yeah, it is this Tuesday coming up. Yeah, this week. We just finished recording with Joseph Hogue, the host of Let's Talk Money on YouTube. That episode will be coming out next Wednesday. I'm really excited for that one. That was a really good conversation.
Really good.
And the week after that, we'll have Paul Halm, an ex-stockbroker for a major Wall Street firm and 2-time best-selling author. After that, we'll have Kyril Asadar. He's the CEO of Centerfin. And then Roger Corey, CEO of Market Forecasting Academy.
Couple of CEOs in the mix, liking that. It's been a while.
Got some strong guests coming up.
That's fantastic.
I know, right?
I'm always excited for our guests. I'm easy to please. All right, folks, we have got a recessive, regressive, and just straight up crashing show for you today.
I don't even mind the lack of alliteration.
You know, because the market's crashing so bad.
Yeah.
It's not a crash. It's just an intensive pullback.
Definitely a bear market.
Oh, lots of market moving news, plenty of stocks on the radar, and more options than analysts finally admitting we're in a full-blown recession.
That took forever.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand why it takes people like making that decision. Like, is it or isn't it? I mean, didn't Anthony tell us like the definition is 2 quarterly GDP readings that are negative?
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty cut and dry.
Yeah, it's either negative or positive.
Right.
Reach out to us, folks. We do love your messages and comments on Twitter and Facebook. Hop on the Discord. Got the link to that in the episode description. If you're old school, you can send us an email to the number 2bulls@financialineptitude.com. That's the number 2. Or you can give us a phone call to 725-22-BULLS. Maybe you got a hot stock tip. Maybe you want to tell us about a great trade you just made. Or maybe you're trying to unite a boy with his institutionalized mother while protecting him from a shape-shifting monster robot. It doesn't matter. We just love it when you reach out.
Yes. I keep meaning to watch that again. It keeps popping up on my Amazon Prime. Such a good movie.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. That was just a suggestion of if that happened to you, maybe you want to talk about it.
Hopefully your institutionalized mother is also really, really good at push-ups and chin-ups and picking locks.
Yeah. Oh, she still looks good. I love you, Linda Hamilton.
All right.
Yeah, she's a listener.
Yep.
Don't worry. Forget about it. Don't worry about it.
You never know. I'll tag her on the next one, or we send it out.
Tag her on Twitter. Okay, it's time to talk about those bet results. And I didn't lose anything.
I made some money.
Oh, so I guess I will go first. I was trying to short Redbox, but the squeeze continued up past my stop loss, even though it did drop.
$12. $12.01 it closed at.
It got as high as $18? No. $18.20. It did get as low at one point. It got as low as $8.90. So I would have been, if I just shorted it without a stop, I think I would have been fine.
So you didn't even trigger a trade, right? Because it opened above your stop loss?
Yes.
Well, I shorted JP Morgan. It opened the week at 116.86 and closed at 113.03. But because I had 2 entries planned, only half my total got entered. So I made $8?
Hey.
Now sitting at 505.67.
Nice. Well done.
I'll take a whatever green after this last week.
It's a rough week, huh?
Yeah. Random had American Outdoor Brands, I think is the name of it. AOUT.
Yeah.
They opened the week at $10.99 and closed at $10 even. So now Random is sitting at $420.76. Looks like Random's loosey-goosey picking bottoms is finally catching up to him.
Thank goodness. I forgot to mention my total's at 445 still. So I'm now ahead of Random. Yes. I only need
that's all that matters.
I only need 13 or 14% to catch up to you.
Yeah, that's doable. Just go long Redbox next week.
Okay. All right. Ready to move on? Talk about some news?
I think so.
Dow drops deep on moving inflation, COVID frustration, war damnation. We're just bringing you the fucking news. You gotta recognize the game if you don't wanna lose. We're just two bulls trading information.
Yeah, we are.
Rioters raiding, insider trading, taxes are raising, bills on the hill. We got a crypto mill. No, they ain't growing weed. When the Fed speaks today, it's some shit we don't need.
Sing it, Dan.
Two bulls trading information.
What?
Two bulls trading information.
I'm inclined to agree.
Two bulls trading information.
That is accurate. Very accurate. What information?
Okay. Got any big news stories for us, Kyle?
I've got 2 that I really want to talk about, but I feel like we should probably just start with the FOMC, and then you can talk about the manufacturing.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good. Let's do it.
So, as everyone should know by now, we got the 75 BIP rate hike on Wednesday. That is the largest in 27 years.
Yeah.
That took the Fed's fund rates to a range of 1.5 to 1.75%, which is still below the committee's estimated range of neutral. And then if we look at the dot plots too, the median estimate year's end rose to 3.375, which means there should be another 1.75 bips of tightening before the year ends.
And that's if it all goes to plan.
Right. I mean, you can see in the meeting notes and Powell's statements that it's all about inflation right now. And if that should be obvious because of Biden's stepping away from the Fed and be like, they've got it.
They got this.
After Biden putting all that out, then yeah, this is going to be their number one priority at this point. So the last word that we had was 75 bips was not on the table, but after the inflation report we got last week, I think that's pretty much what basically made them take the drastic measures of going with the 75 instead of the 50. There was one person who dissented. That was Esther George. She was in favor of the 50-point pip, but was the only one.
Only one out of the whole, was it 12 of them?
Yeah. I'm trying to see the balance sheet, what they're planning on doing there. They did begin declining this month and will continue to do so for the foreseeable future. The reserve is now allowing for up to $30 billion worth of Treasury securities to roll off the balance sheet each month from June through August. Also $17.5 billion worth of mortgage-backed securities to roll off. Then the FOMC's plan is to increase the size of the monthly caps to 60 and 35 billion respectively beginning in September and maintain the monthly caps at those levels for an indefinite period of time. It sounds like they're still not actively selling off assets yet, but I don't think that's completely off the table. They're just letting all their assets expire at this point. Powell did make it clear that the 75 BIP rate hikes are not expected to be common, but another one could come in July depending on how data evolves over the next 6 weeks. Once again, Powell did reiterate, too, that they need to see compelling evidence that inflation is rolling over before it feels comfortable taking the foot off the brakes. There was another thing in the statement that was notable, and that was the removal of the expectation of seeing inflation below 2% through 24. So now no committee member thinks that's possible anymore. So the inflation looks like it's going to be in for the long haul. That's what it looks like.
I don't see any way forward different that they could do, right? Like what the back's against the wall at this point.
I mean, unless they invent time travel and go back and start earlier.
right. I guess we could just be like, all right, that dollar's done. We're just doing dollar 2.0. Starting over. Just do a Rick and Morty reset. Like,
I know, right?
This currency is now worth 2 of itself.
I don't think that quite works like that. But I don't know, man. What was the economic data?
Oh, the manufacturing output?
Yeah.
It does go hand in hand with what you're talking about with the Fed stuff. So not only is manufacturing output declining since January, following the news of the retail sales also dropping, it doesn't look good as the dollar, as the interest rates go up and create a stronger dollar. It means that United States goods are more expensive abroad. So things like a weakness in manufacturing, I think it is, the article says our capacity is 79% output. It's lowering because nobody can afford to buy what we're making, right?
Right. Well, it's because they jacked the prices up because there is no materials available. So now that there's more than enough materials available, are they going to start dropping prices?
Doubtful.
That's how it's supposed to work.
Doubtful. Yeah.
Doesn't seem to with gas.
Yeah. We've got record profits. Oh, it's just because of inflation. That's why. It's inflation. That's why we're making so much goddamn money on this oil.
I mean, didn't crude oil drop like crazy today?
Yeah.
Let's see.
It did. It's the price of crude is crashing, but not at the pump.
No, it's not. That's what I was wondering. Can I get gas for cheaper than $5 now?
Good luck.
Yeah, exactly. But that is a good sign. Gas coming down. That should help with because that's the last key, I think, to ease in the supply chain crunch.
Yeah.
Right. The cost of shipping all the materials needs to come down along with the supply buildup.
Yeah.
Those two together, hopefully we start to see some cooling here soon.
I sure hope so. Yeah,
me too.
Oh, well, speaking of oil or natural gas.
Petroleum products, close enough.
Russia is definitely setting up a conflict, a greater conflict, let's say, with the EU. The headline reads on this CNBC article: "Our product, our rules. Russia sends alarm bells ringing over Europe's winter gas supplies."
Kind of hard to argue with them, though.
Right. My initial thought was like, why are they're still selling the gas? Like, I don't know. It just seems like, oh, we're in this conflict.
They don't have a choice, though. That's their main economy, isn't it?
Yeah. It's their main export. So how worthy is that threat, though? If it's their main export and you're saying they have to keep selling it.
Let's see. Their main exports are wheat and petroleum oils.
Yeah. The EU gets 40% of its gas through Russian pipelines.
Ooh, that is a lot.
Yeah. So, out of every 10 days this winter, 4 of them, they won't be able to have heat. That's not too bad, right?
Oh, goddamn. No, that is not good.
Spread them out. Yeah. They've already kind of turned down the supply on their Nord Stream 1 pipeline.
Yeah.
Nord Stream 1 pipeline that runs from Russia to Germany under the Baltic Sea. And they blamed it on Canada not giving back some equipment.
Oh.
Which they're like, sorry, we had to cut supply. We didn't get the equipment serviced by the German Siemens Energy in Canada. They didn't give us that back, so we had to turn the pipeline down. Whoops. Sorry.
Blame Canada.
Blame Canada. Blame Canada. Yeah, they're already up to the shenanigans. Our product, our rules. We don't play by rules we didn't create. Gazprom CEO Alexei Miller said during a panel session at the St. Petersburg International Economic Forum.
How much longer is this Ukraine war going to go on? I can't believe it. Ukraine has held on as long as they have, honestly. But is this going to drag on for a couple more years?
I don't know. It's really sad to me because I grew up with a very naive idea that if a post World War II with the NATO and the UN, if a country just invaded another for no good reason, that it would be shut down. And that is clearly not the case.
They said that after World War I, too.
That's true. With the League of Nations.
Yeah.
God, where's those shape-shifting monster robots that come run the world for us? They'll solve our problems.
Just put me in the Matrix at this point.
Right?
Yeah, and then make me lose some weight, too, while I'm in there. All right. The last story I have is one that was shared by Vague Macaroon on our Discord. It's a story about China. And this one is very interesting. So in China, all residents have to have this health app, which displays a code indicating their health status, which also includes possible exposure to COVID-19. You get a green code, and that's required to use public transport to enter locations like offices, restaurants, malls. But some people, when they went to go check on banks in the central Henan province, because there's some issues with the rural banks having, what was the actual reasoning here? Customers found they couldn't access their online banking services. They tried to go to the banks to get their money back, but they couldn't get any replies from them. So a lot of these people tried to go travel to the bank to go try to remove their money, in person.
Yeah.
But a lot of these people are saying that suddenly their app were showing that they had COVID because they were moving outside of their normal areas and getting close to the banks.
What?
Yeah.
That's insanity.
A woman surnamed I said shortly after she checked into a hotel in Zhengzhou, she was questioned by a group of police who asked her why she was there. She replied she wished to withdraw money from the bank. Shortly after, she found her health code turned red, even though she had a negative COVID test result in the previous 48 hours. She was then immediately taken to a quarantine hotel. There's over a dozen people who said their codes turned red after they scanned a QR code in the city.
Wow. That's a big lockdown. Oh, wow.
I bring that up not because of the dystopian nature of it, but because this really puts in question some of the banking system in China.
Yeah.
Because the only reason to do that would be to try to stop a bank run. And the only reason why you try to stop a bank run is if
You're expecting one?
there's a reason for people to want to go and pull all their shit. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So you think it's a bank run. You don't think it's just over cautiousness about the COVID. Like if you just a blanket, like if you're going to move around at all, we're going to just flag you as having COVID and lock you down.
No, I'm trying to, let me get the actual here. So there's over a dozen people after they scanned a QR code in that city. Places like train stations and grocery stores have the QR codes to scan at their entrances, so people have to log their presence for contact tracing during the pandemic. When people are deemed at risk, and their codes turn a different color that indicate restrictions like mandatory quarantines. So a bank customer said she saw that many people were reporting their health codes had turned red after arriving in the city of the bank itself. Lou is a person who did not go to the city herself, but she tested the code change after others reported it in their shared group chat. She scanned the QR code from a photo someone had shared in the group, and she found that her health code also turned red.
And she didn't even travel. She just scanned the code. Wow. Okay.
Yes. Another bank customer said that he got a red code after scanning in at the train station and was taken immediately into police custody. After a few hours after the police officers made him leave the city, his health code turned back green.
Okay, that's yeah. I think you might be right.
So, no, this is definitely related to people traveling to the city that their bank is located in.
Yeah,
and that is definitely concerning.
Okay. China is afraid of a bank run.
Yes.
Wow, and I'd been reading that. I mean, I guess if you trusted them, China had been saying that they had their banking shit under control, that their inflation wasn't like everybody else's going crazy.
Well, it's easy to control it if nobody can actually touch it.
There you go. You can't spend your money. So, it just stays the same.
Yeah, or goes down.
Deflation. Because if you do get money, it's worth more. Oh, shit, he's got some money.
Anyway, that's all I have for news.
Okay. All right. Well, you know who doesn't lock you down when you go to the bank?
Except your interest rate.
Okay. Is there a better segue?
I don't know.
You know, Kyle, she might not lock down your travel, but she will lock down your interest rate. I'm talking about Two Bulls in a China Shop being proudly brought to you by Sue Pullen at Fairway Independent Mortgage and Equal Housing Lender. Sue Pullen is a certified mortgage advisor who focuses on finding the right product for you and your needs. She has over 20 years experience helping thousands of homeowners, whether it's purchasing, refinancing, or even the famous reverse mortgage. Sue will help. She's licensed in 28 states, maybe growing, maybe not. We'll see. So reach out and see what Sue could do for you. Best way to reach her is just give her a call, 520-977-7904, or you can send her an email, spullen@fairwaymc.com. Fairway Independent Mortgage has an MLS number 2289. Sue Pullen has an MLS number 206048. That email again is spullen@fairwaymc.com. And that phone number is 520-977-7904.
And Two Bulls in a China Shop is also proud to be affiliated with the Trade Pro Academy.
Trade Pro?
Trade Pro Academy is the educational platform that offers institutional trader development programs to new and experienced independent traders. Yes. Translation, learn to trade like those big institutions that we all hate. Can't beat them?
Join them.
Copy them.
Copy them.
No, don't join them.
Oh.
They got a great staff of highly knowledgeable and successful traders. No better place that we've found to learn everything you need to know to be that successful trader. Find them online at tradeproacademy.com, or you can just use that affiliate link in the episode description, as it's a great way to support the show and improve your own knowledge and skills. And also in that Discord is the links for the 10% discount code. Just do not tell George.
Don't tell him. Please don't tell him. Yeah, he'll ruin. He'll just end the whole affiliate program.
Such a party pooper.
Yeah.
Scrooge McGeorge.
I want to Photoshop a top hat and a monocle on George's face now.
Nice. I'm sure you could just ask him to take a picture like that.
Hey George, can you give me a Scrooge McDuck? I need a monocle, top hat, nice dress shirt, and no pants, no underwear.
We just have to beat him in a bet, Dan. We just have to beat him in a bet.
Okay, all right. Well, we need to get our crack team of interns on that.
Yep.
Okay. Well, Trade Pro Academy is awesome, but you know who else is also very amazing and awesome?
Yes, I do.
Oh.
Order Flow Labs.
Yes, Order Flow Labs. They were kind enough to share their toolkit for trading futures on Sierra Charts, Ninja Trader, and Motive Wave with us. They have amazing custom studies for structure and execution. Too many to list, but buy-sell zones, reconstructed tape, dominator signals, I mean, liquidity zones, amazing stuff. They got something for everybody, constantly testing and tweaking and adding new studies and new support. They provide so much help for you to use their tools. It's overwhelming. And we've in fact started our own futures trading. That's the word for something that's recurring and series.
Oh, yes.
Series of podcasts that we're doing with them. So if you are trading futures, do yourself a favor. Check them out at orderflowlabs.com.
Okay.
Well, ready to talk about some stocks?
Yes.
Stock time! Now it's talk about stocks time. Looking for setups, it's still not advice. Big moves, fresh news, and earnings. All that we're saying, it's still not advice. Stock time!
Please don't sue us.
All right, Kyle. I really, and I know we've talked about this months and months ago, but it's coming up again. I really would like to talk about Amazon for a minute.
Okay.
They are one of the largest companies by market cap. We all know and either love, hate, or ambivalent. Everybody's aware or has come into contact with Amazon at some point or another. Well, turns out that a memo got leaked. The company is running out of people to hire. And that doesn't...
What, they're too big?
That does not mean that they're like, we're so big, there's just no one left to hire. It means that their turnover year over year is so high
that they've already hired most people.
They've already hired, fired / quit most people that would be eligible to work for them in age and location. Yeah, they're just running out of people.
Oh, jeez, that's crazy. Wow.
Right. Like, do you remember when it was like you wanted to keep your workers because the cost of training new workers was expensive? Right? Remember when worker retention was important? And then, now we just live in this era where it's like, yeah, you don't want to work? Well, fuck you. We'll get somebody else in here in 2 seconds. We don't care about training costs.
Well, they got rid of pensions, and then they completely killed any reason for someone to remain loyal to a company.
Yeah.
Once the pension plans went away, then everyone became mercenaries at that point. You just go to the highest payer and then get whatever match you can for your 401k.
I gotta say, I can't think of an example in American history where like a successful company was just like, well, we got to go out of business because we went through all the workers. There's no one left to hire. Nobody wants to work for us because we're assholes.
Yeah, that's a new one. You think that it's that bad, though?
Well, I mean, I've heard a lot of horror stories. The people that I've met.
Well, I don't mean the conditions there. We know that's bad, but I mean, you think the outlook is that bad?
Well, the Amazon sure does, according to this leaked memo.
What does the memo say? If
we continue business as usual, Amazon will deplete the available labor supply in the U.S. network by 2024.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So they really need to get AI going.
Yeah, robots. That's it. That's all they can do.
Yeah, that's the answer.
Yeah.
You can treat robots like shit until
but that's just the crazy thing is like, I don't know how well we're going to do to the transition to a robotic workforce. It's just going to leave poor people even more poor. Like, I doubt that your average person that could get a job as like a package sorter at Amazon is going to be able to be like a robot production servicer,
Yeah, and then the transition too is even worse because now you got all this massive equipment that's running on programming logic and running people over.
Oh, it's going to be fun. This futuristic dystopian nightmare.
Yeah.
Bring it, Amazon.
All right. So what does the stock look like?
Oh, it's not looking good. Now, we are post split. So it went from the 2000s to the hundreds. Let's see, where was the split? Was
It's a 20-for-1 split. Happened on the 6th.
24-1 on June 6th. So we're 11 days past the split. The split brought it down to 125. We are now down to 100. Friday we closed $106.22.
And it looks like to me it's closing right on a massive support.
Yes, it is.
It's basically at pre-COVID highs. Or actually, it's below that, isn't it?
It had pre-COVID. It did spike up to 109, right before.
Yeah,
right in February, just before so it's below the high, but I would say 102 would be the support level. It tagged 102.51 on Friday. I think if Amazon slips under that, which I believe it will, we could be seeing it get below 90.
Yeah, I've got 83 as like my next big support.
Yeah.
And even that, I mean, the volume distribution where it's at, I mean, it could easily run down to the bottom of that, down to the 70s.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's not looking too hot, let's put it that way.
No, it is not.
Yeah, undid everything back to... Yeah, if it gets below 80, it's going to be lower than the COVID lows.
Right,
kind of impressive.
If it does somehow manage to hold here and bounce off of this level, then there is a gap that looks like it's waiting to be filled around 131, between 131 and 135. But I mean, it tried right before the split and didn't quite make it. I don't know. This one's a tough one. I think maybe watch 130, and if it breaks above that, then maybe get a quick scalp in there as the gap fills up. But I hate to be long anything right now, really.
Yeah.
Unless it's a long-term portfolio.
Yeah. The only thing that's the only thing I would be long on. Anyway, I'm totally bearish on Amazon.
I've got Adobe had some really good earnings reports for their Q2 earnings on, I think Adobe reported today or yesterday, pre-market. Surprise EPS by 1%, about a 1% surprise on the revenue too, so 41 million extra. But their guidance was not great. They actually revised the next quarter's forecast downward. People did not much care for that. Does look like it got bought up somewhat to kind of come back into right where it was pre-earnings. This is going to be one that I kind of want to keep an eye on because cloud tech, I still like it. This is one of the few sectors I'm still kind of bullish on. I like seeing a good earnings report with a negative reaction to try to, look to scoop up some of those shares on a discount and wait for people to fully digest that information. So this might have opportunity for that. I do like the buying that came in on Friday. There was quite a bit. Buying was real solid. So I'll be watching this one to see if maybe it can't reverse the bearish trend that it's been sitting in. But that would require it to break above $441 a share. It's sitting at $360 right now. So I've got it on my watch list, but I'm not taking much action right now. I will say if it drops down to around 300, I'll probably just take a long start a position at that point.
Adobe at 300, it just feels weird to say. Okay, but yeah, you're right.
Wasn't that long ago. It was trading in the 200s to 300.
COVID lows were in the 200s, right?
COVID low was 254. It is also below its COVID high. There's a lot of stocks that are trading below their COVID highs, but the SPY still has not. That's another thing that's got me kind of scared for potential of anything right now as far as the longs go.
Trying to get long right now. Yeah, but at the same time, these valuations are getting more in line of what your earnings per share should be.
Right. What else you got?
Revlon, the makeup manufacturer, is flirting with Chapter 11 bankruptcy. I should say they filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. They were having a tough time and filed for bankruptcy. I should say they had a close encounter with bankruptcy in 2020, and their billionaire owner, Ron Perlman, bailed them out. He said he didn't sell his yacht and house undervalued in any kind of duress, but the timing was suspicious.
Right.
So people are wondering if he's going to do it again or if he can do it again. His daughter's been running the company since 2018. They've got Revlon has 2.3 billion in assets and 3.7 billion in debts.
Why they didn't do his daughter any favors when she took over?
It doesn't sound like it.
No.
The company expects to receive a $575 million loan from its current lenders to fund current operations while it navigates bankruptcy. And of course, the company itself is like, we're doing great.
Right.
Let me read the quote from Deborah Perlman, the current CEO. Consumer demand for our products remains strong. People love our brands, and we continue to have a healthy market position. But our challenging capital structure has limited our ability to navigate macroeconomic issues in order to meet this demand. So it sounds like supply chain stuff and just bad management has led to them being unable to sell product, which I'm sorry, if you're saying like there's a demand for our product and we just need more money to get it to people, to me that's one of the worst things to hear in business.
Quick look at they've been beating expectations on the earnings, but this last one was really bad. Negative 165 earnings per share.
Yeah.
Yeah, they post a lot of negative actual earnings, even if it looks green.
Yeah. They estimated minus $1.65. They reported $1.14. So it's like, oh, that's a 51-cent surprise. Yeah, but it's still negative.
Yeah,
you're still losing money.
Are people liking the bankruptcy news? Because this stock has been seeing a lot of buy volume since the 14th.
So the bankruptcy news came out, the article came out the 16th. I don't know when they filed.
Oh, so somebody knew something beforehand.
Maybe. I do know that in 2020, Citibank accidentally paid off Revlon's other lenders, Citigroup, and they were like, "Hey, can we get that $900 million we wired to you back?" Right. Instead of the interest payment, we accidentally paid off the whole loan. Yeah, I don't know why it's going up on bankruptcy news, because it was down to $1.50 and looked like it was going to end the week under $2, and then it just shot up on Friday with the market going down.
Well, it looks like there was a story that came out 7 days ago by Reuters that said that they were nearing their filing, so it's not like it was unknown.
Yeah.
I guess just the actual filing, people took that as either bullish or everyone's covering their shorts at this point, figuring that's good enough.
Revlon does have some strong brands, so you got to figure either they navigate out of bankruptcy and they start really turning a profit again, or they get bought because they're just so cheap.
Problem is, anybody buying them has to take on all that debt.
That's true.
So maybe the bankruptcy is actually a next step in that process.
Right. They bankrupt out the debt, then they get bought.
Right. That could be interesting.
Or Citigroup just buys them. But their market cap is at 106 million, which is incredibly low.
Right.
For a multinational conglomerate makeup company.
For somebody with $500 million in revenues, that seems kind of low.
Yeah, as of November of last year, their market cap was more than $1 billion. So well, we'll see. We'll see what happens with them. But they tagged a volume profile ledge on the wick of the candle. So I'm definitely bearish on the company in bankruptcy. But hey, people made money on Hertz's bankruptcy stock going up and down. So
just not us.
Just not us. Oh, you got any other stocks?
All right. Nah, it's time to talk about some crypto.
Talk about some crypto.
I got some crypto in my wallet. Hanging out on my Ethereum blockchain. Yeah, I got some crypto in my wallet. Some Doji, Sushi, Polka Dot, NFT. Decentralized, anonymized, fabulous cryptocurrency.
Oh boy. All right, Dan, what do you got for us?
Crypto has crashed so hard that it may no longer be profitable to mine Ethereum.
Really?
The cost of the electricity alone may be more than the value of the Ethereum that you would get for mining it.
What's Ethereum at now? I know it was triple digits, but then I thought it spiked back up.
About $1,000.
Okay. Oof. Yeah, that's a big fall.
It's down 70% in the past 6 months.
Oh, that's about where it's time to start buying it again, isn't it?
Yeah.
Between 70 and 90% dip.
If it was a company, that's what I'd be saying, but I'm still skeptical on the whole crypto thesis. We did just talk to Joseph Hogue, the certified financial analyst guy, who was saying that he really does believe that the blockchain provides value. And while it's not like a equity company selling a product, it does have intrinsic value, and that it's not going away, even if its things are down at the moment.
Yes.
So people who know better than me feel differently, but I'm still a skeptic.
Just because I don't understand it doesn't mean that doesn't have any value.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Like I still think that there's enough people that are interested in it. I think Bitcoin and Ethereum have proven their staying power. Now, the other coins that, surround it, I stay away from most of those unless they're given to me for free. Yeah. There's actually a mining calculator. I guess you can go on minerstat.com and estimate your profits and losses. So if you're running GeForce RTX 3090 and you've tuned it to hit 130 millihashes per second hash rate, running at 320 watts power, yeah, you're losing money every day. So like the optimum setups to mine efficiently, you generate, for example, on that, you'd be generating $1.80 worth of Ethereum per day, and it would cost you $2 a day just in electricity. Oof. Yeah. That's not, the math doesn't work there.
With the luck factor that's in play with getting the actual Ethereum,
right?
It could really skew the results against you. I mean, it could skew them for you if you're lucky, but
might as well buy a lottery ticket at that point.
We have talked to crypto people before, and when mining goes down, the supply goes down, and that brings the value up, right?
You would think so.
So now might be the best time to start buying some Ethereum.
Yeah, hard to argue with that logic.
I'm just saying, like, if it's cost you more to mine it, more in electricity than you get from mining it, you're going to turn off all those mining things, and the whole supply side is going to dry up. And there won't be any new Ethereum getting minted, and I don't know.
I mean, Bitcoin's still sitting at 20,000. Ethereum's still at 1,000. I don't know. It probably has more to go.
Maybe worth taking a nibble.
Yeah, I think I'll wait a little bit more.
Did you have any crypto stories?
Yeah, Coinbase has gotten a little bit of hot water because they needed to lay off 1,100 employees, and they decided to do that by locking them out of their work emails before they even said anything to them. Like, that's how the people found out they were getting laid off, when they couldn't log into their work emails on Tuesday.
Oh, classy Coinbase. Real classy.
18% of the total workforce they laid off.
Oh my God.
Okay, so the reasoning they said this was because Armstrong, the CEO, actually wrote a blog post for this explaining why they took this action. And the reason was because, quote, I realize the removal of access will feel sudden and unexpected, and this is not the experience I wanted for you. Given the number of employees who have access to sensitive customer information, it was unfortunately the only practical choice to ensure not even a single person made a rash decision that harmed the business or themselves. We're
dicking you over so hard. We know you're going to dick us back, so you're locked out.
No, first of all,
Go ahead.
This means that you don't trust your workforce.
Yes,
right?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
It shows a complete lack of trust in your workforce. I guess I kind of understand that when you're laying off 18% of them. But the other issue with that is, why do 1,100 people, or at least a large majority of them, have access to sensitive customer information?
Yeah, that does seem like a lot of them, doesn't it?
Yeah. Like, what about the other 5,000 workers they still have that are pissed off that their friends just got laid off in a really shitty move that you made?
Right.
Like, do they all have access to sensitive customer information too? Yeah, so kind of shitty. It's all Matt Damon's fault. Everybody's blaming Matt.
I mean, at the very least, he should be really embarrassed, right?
Yes.
At the very least.
I mean, people hate him more than Johnny Depp.
Well, the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial was, good scandalous content to watch from our living rooms, but people lost money on that crypto stuff.
I know. Anyway, that's all I had for crypto.
All right. Well, if you're done there, I guess I'll just reach. I'm
running out of time, and I'm going to wait.
I'd say my good this week was watching my strategy play out, being able to look at those levels and be able to have it on paper and be a trading strategy that I could hand to like a 10-year-old and be like, when it does this, do this. That was my good, because that was moving forward on some really important stuff.
Right, and then actually collecting
that data.
No, but now you know.
Yeah.
So now you shouldn't be tempted to take those setups anymore, right?
Well, no. What I found, if you want to get into the nuts and bolts of it,
sure.
What I found was sometimes it takes 3 bad trades to hit that home run with those levels and boxes.
Yes,
but the home run does come. So I have to sit down this weekend with my risk manager and figure out a plan that will work.
Yes, exactly. You got to get the risk reward set up right, so where you can be profitable with a 30% to 40% win rate.
Where I can take those three losses, take those 2 to 3 losses before. But every time I would get stopped out 2 or 3 times, like the next time boom! It not only didn't stop me out, but it goes the distance and then some. Like they're really powerful levels that I'm playing with on those 4-hour candlesticks.
It's interesting. Yeah, you should look and see, like, are head fakes more common initially, and then like the more times it head fakes, then it's more likely to happen. Like, there's all kinds of fun stuff that you can look at now. Now that you have some data.
Now that I got some data.
Excited for you. My good doesn't make any sense until I tell you my ugly. So
okay. Well, start with your ugly.
I guess,
doesn't matter.
All right. My ugly happened this morning, Friday. It was the first trade of the morning, and I forgot to double check the order size before I clicked my first trade of the day. So I had a triple size trade that, of course, was stopped out and then just put me in a massive hole to start the day.
God damn.
Ah, man. Yeah. And then now the rest of the day, I'm trying to fight with myself over trying to get it back, quote unquote. And that's a really hard thing to overcome. But my good was that I had a plan and that I was able to stick to that plan, finish out the rest of the day, nearly break even. Would have been green if it wasn't for that, first trade. But having an actual plan, still being able to stick to it, it kept me from doing anything really stupid. And that was the reason why I felt comfortable continuing to trade, even after making that mistake, was that myself was taken out of the picture enough to where I could still execute my strategy without putting myself at extra risk.
Yeah. Well, awesome.
Thank you. So what was your bad?
My bad, my bad is still just too emotionally attached. Like it's way too easy for me to get upset at what's happening.
Yeah.
I didn't have anything I would say was like ugly, but like, I don't know. And I don't even know. I don't know. Maybe it's just like my personal life. I'm too, I guess I should say I don't have enough emotional walls because I'm worn down from shit I'm dealing with personally. Probably.
I don't know, Dad. I still have trouble separating the emotion from it. It's gotten to the point where I've had to place a trade and walk away and just let the bracket do it.
E-commerce merchants. Does consistent monthly growth while hitting ROI goals sound good? Here at Admiral, our customers constantly let us know it feels good. Admiral helps you attract new customers and bring shoppers back to finish the sale. Integrate your e-commerce store with Admiral and manage display, social media, and native advertising all in one place. Sounds good, right? See the difference. Visit Admiral.com to get started today.
If you look around, there are so many ways to make a difference. At Capella University, our FlexPath format gives you a different way to earn your degree. Take courses at your speed. Move on whenever you're ready. Education should fit your life. Learn more at capella.edu.
I'll come back and check, in 5 minutes or so and see if I'm still in it.
Yeah. I get so fucking attached to that trade, and I don't want to be, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to be. I want to not care, but I care so much. Yeah, that's where I'm at. Okay, and I feel like I'm just a broken record here on the good, bad, and the ugly, and that's I guess that if anything qualifies as my ugly, it would be that. And apologies to all you listeners that you keep hearing about me having the same problems over and over again.
Fuck. I feel like I should say something, but I don't know what to say. I guess I'm not being a very good accountability buddy.
In what way? Because I'm not growing. It's your fault. I'll take it.
We haven't really been. I don't feel like I've been there as much to help support you. Like it kind of feels like we've been diverging a little bit since I've been focusing more on futures with the Leo and Flary collaboration.
And I haven't been doing futures. No.
Right.
Yeah. I am. Some days it does feel like I'm trading in a vacuum, but that's okay. I've been on the call and I'm still watching the futures levels. I feel like it's me not showing up and being around enough to talk to you about things.
Oh, okay. I'll take that. Maybe we'll both take some fault.
Little from column A, little from column B. But first step is to acknowledge it.
Whatever I can do to help, man, I'm here for you. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay. All right. Well.
I do have a bad. My bad has been missing trade setups. Been a few times this week, and I have been logging them so that way I can still at least collect the data on it. But just simply not being ready when price hits an area I'm interested in. I'm not sitting there waiting to mark it in when I get my signal. And there's been a few times where I've missed, a really profitable trade that would have, printed 20 plus points just because I couldn't be bothered to sit ready and waiting like my job dictates I'm supposed to be when I'm the executor.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it saved me a couple times too, but I'm pretty sure in the end, because I have a positive risk reward and expectation and win rate and all the data suggests like, this is just costing me money.
Yeah, you can't afford to miss those.
Especially not when my job is to stare at those charts for, 4 hours or so in the morning.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's something I've been working on. I did much better this ending the week, but there's still pops up here and there.
Something for us to work on next week, right?
Exactly. Got to identify the problem, like you said, in order to fix it or to work on it.
I might start taping a note card to my monitor of like when we do the good, the bad, and the ugly of writing down my bad and ugly and have it on my monitor all week for trading and see if I can keep it in my mind to try and shame myself to do better.
Shame yourself. Should start with the refrain if you learned anything from Rich. Make it something positive.
Yes. If I can nimbly and agilely dodge my previous week's faults, then I will show growth.
Right.
It gives me the opportunity to grow. There we go.
Yep. All right. It's time to make a bet here.
It is time to make a fucking bet.
I need it, wanna beat it, gonna win it if I take it from you. I'm filling my positions, quit your bitching, random's gonna lose. Got a chart full of levels and a stop that's not too tight. It's bet picking time in the shop, so pick 'em right.
All right, I suppose I get to go first.
Yes, you do. Do you get to make two since you didn't get a trade last week?
I think I should. I get to retroactively trade last week. I'm going to short the SPY. No, I really like the short on Ford.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they have been slipping. Their structure is decidedly bearish since, January when they were in the up to 24.
Yeah.
Since January, they've pulled back down there at 11.23. So they've got a greater than 50% drop in 6 months. Oof, really getting beat up.
Stop losses and take profits.
So I'm going to, my target is 9.5. I think it could do it in a week. We'll see. I'm gonna short, and my stop is gonna be 11.75. My first take profit will be 10.50, and then the second one will be 9.75.
2 at 9.75.
Yeah,
gotcha. All right. I just don't know what to pick, so I'm gonna pull a random, and I'm just gonna roll some numbers here. So I have a New York Stock Exchange, public utilities, and it came up with SOLN, the Southern Company.
Whoa.
And in true random fashion, I'm going to long this fucker.
Okay. SOLN, the Southern Company. All right. Kyle is long the Southern. Golly.
I'm going to put my stop at 49.50 and take profit at 54.
Seems pretty solid. I mean, I know it's had a really bad couple of weeks. I think going long here is the...
If you're going to go long anything, public utility seems like a good idea.
Yeah, no, and it's really like that $50 spot.
Yeah, it's a really strong support level.
Is the spot, right?
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I'm looking at this chart. Like, look at the volume profile.
You can't beat them, then join them.
Yeah, yeah. If 50 fails, we got another 10% to slide before we get to the next big support.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. SOLN. I like it. All right. So what's our other random? Yeah.
Random also has a New York Stock Exchange, and it's in the energy sector. It picked DK, Delek U.S. Holdings, Inc.
Oh, yes. Delek U.S. Holdings, Inc. A petroleum refining and transportation company.
I actually found something in a bullish pattern, too, somehow. Good job, Random.
It's in a bullish pattern, but man, look at that Friday sell-off.
Yeah.
Oil got demolished on Friday, didn't it?
It did.
Yeah. Ooh.
It did.
Yeah, I mean, that is more than twice the average volume.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not going to shed any tears for Random making a bad decision.
There you go. Yeah, fuck you, Random. All right. Thanks for sticking around to the end, folks. We'll be back at you with those bet results. I am short and forward. Kyle is long SOLN. Random's got DK. Nice oil stock. We'll be back at you next week. But until then, happy trades.
Goodbye.
Two Bulls in a China Shop is an entertainment program, and all thoughts and opinions expressed in the show belong to the hosts and not of any company. They are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual or on any specific security or investment product. It is only intended to provide entertainment about stocks in the financial industry of trading. If you make trades based on what you hear in this show, you assume all risks for those trades.